Thanks, Tim. Great to be here. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll start with the next slide. Thanks. So I'm Adam. I'm the founder and CEO of OpenLearning. And OpenLearning is targeting the $7.5 billion online lifelong learning market. Now, what this market is comprised of is everything from what's considered non-formal education. So that's, short courses, professional development, all sorts of online programs that you might take, 1 or 2 hours long, a few hours long, all the way through to certificates, diplomas, even postgraduate degrees. Now, all of this is online, and OpenLearning initially started focusing on the non-formal part of this sector. Now, over the past year, we're expanding upwards, and we're now running more programs that are either for credit or pathways into accredited programs. And that's expanding our accessible market. And this is just Australia. OpenLearning actually operates in Southeast Asia as well, where the size of the market is significant, but obviously data is less easier to come by. Next slide, please. Now, OpenLearning is one of the leading lifelong learning platforms in Australia and Southeast Asia. Now, what does that mean? So for us, lifelong learning is comprised of really a few different key components in the platform. And OpenLearning is a complete solution that enables education providers to move online and build their lifelong learning business. This includes everything from the consumer end, so being able to actually collect payments for your course through OpenLearning, launch your marketing pages, promote your course to the public. That happens on OpenLearning. After that, people go into the course itself, and inside there, we actually have a learning experience which significantly increases the level of student engagement, project-based learning, community of practice. All of that occurs within the OpenLearning platform. So OpenLearning itself is actually built on proven learning sciences research, and that happens inside the course. Now, with that, we have all the tools for the teachers to actually build their courses in the platform, manage the course, handle delivery. That's all done there. At the end of the course, you can actually issue digital credentials, so micro-credentials, badges, certificates. And at the end of all of that, every student actually has a portfolio, which captures everything they learned in the course, and they can then actually share that with potential employers or even back to a university for getting credit. So the OpenLearning platform really is the complete solution. And this is actually replacing a lot of disparate systems that an education provider would have to use if they wanted to enter this market on their own. So a lot of institutions offer online courses, and they typically do that through, say, a learning management system, which is a very traditional type of system. People upload their content, download videos, quizzes, engagement's very low. It's not designed for the consumer market. So OpenLearning is really designed for that lifelong learner. And what that means is we can actually put all these pieces together within the platform. So an institution moving online doesn't need to purchase multiple systems. They don't need to get a website set up. They don't need to get a payment gateway. They don't need to get a learning management system. They don't need a student management system. So that all cuts down the cost of delivery, enables these providers to offer courses that are more affordable and get those to market a lot faster. Now, OpenLearning is a proprietary platform. We're differentiated by technology, learning philosophy, a brand that all of our users and customers can see, and geography as well. We're focused on Australia and Southeast Asia, and particularly in Southeast Asia, Malaysia, and now Indonesia as well. And because of our global platform and brand, there are inherent network effects in what we've built. And what we've seen in the programs running on OpenLearning is that they're consistently getting learner engagement and student satisfaction scores of 20 points higher than those courses previously achieved. Now, over the years, we've had over 2.9 million learners take courses on OpenLearning. We currently work with 184 education providers. This is everything from small independent training providers all the way through to some of the largest universities in Australia. And on top of that, there's millions of interactions occurring on the platform on a regular basis. Next slide. Now, to service this market, we actually offer a suite of products. And what that includes is our platform, which we offer on a subscription model. This is a software as a service model, and it's based on people's usage of the platform. So a university signing up to use OpenLearning might start off paying, say, $50,000 a year for up to 5,000 people. A small education provider can actually go onto our website. They can sign up for a few $100s a month for a few hundred students, and they can actually go and start building their courses and using all the functionality on the platform. The second service we offer for this market is program delivery. And in there, we partner with top institutions to deliver programs on the OpenLearning platform with the full spectrum of delivery capabilities. So everything from assisting in promoting the course through to handling the course delivery, assessment, facilitation, support, student success, and all of that. And in addition to that, we have value-added services that education providers, our customers, are able to use if they want to. This includes selling their course through our marketplace, so using our payment gateway, and also our learning design services to actually help them move online and design really high-quality courses that leverage the functionality of the OpenLearning platform. Next. Now, what we've seen over the past couple years is accelerating growth in platform revenue. Now, you can see that over the past, this is on a half-yearly basis. So we operate on a December year end. So this is up until 30 June. The first half for us is 30 June. And we were able to grow our platform revenue, which is our core platform subscription and program delivery business. We've been able to grow that by 120% year on year. And a large portion of that growth actually happened in the second quarter of the year. So, that combined with the existing growth in the business has really shown that revenue growth is actually starting to accelerate now quite quickly. Now, in those two components, we saw underlying growth in the subscription, the SaaS model of over 40%. And we saw revenue coming online from our new program delivery segment from the transition program online, which just started in March this year. Next slide. Now, on the platform subscription side, we've seen over the past year a 59% increase in the number of SaaS customers. So this is those customers that are paying us on a software as a service basis. And that grew from 116 to 184. We've seen our annualized recurring revenue grow by 27% year on year. And we've seen a number of new clients join the platform in the past half year. This includes some very large clients such as Afterpay and the University of Wollongong, which recently signed a 5-year contract with us to use the platform specifically for lifelong learning. We've also signed up the Australian Technology Network, which is a network of 5 universities across Australia, which focuses on technology themselves. Now, we've also introduced the self-service sign-up and onboarding process, payment and admin tools. Now, what this means is that small education providers can go onto our website, sign up with their credit card, and do everything themselves, and are supported remotely by our customer success team. Now, this is probably how you think most software as a service products would work, and that's true in many sectors. But in the education sector, a lot of these education providers are still a little bit behind. So, a lot of times you have to use personal selling, you spend a lot of time and effort, very long sales cycle. So we're actually trying to move some of those smaller clients into a more automated process. And that will allow us to reduce the sales cycle and hopefully attract more clients as well. And we've seen that come online recently, and we're starting to see the benefits of that. And we're starting to invest significantly in sales and marketing in both our core markets and also our expansion to Indonesia. Next slide. Now, we introduced the program delivery segment of the business just in the past half year. And the first program that we launched in this segment is the UNSW Transition Program Online. Now, what we do in the program delivery segment is we look at programs that actually can appeal to more than one institution. Now, typically when what's considered the online program delivery sector, where there's a number of companies operating in this sector, typically these companies operate on a one-to-one relationship with the education provider. So they will go to the education provider and they will help them run their, let's say, MBA program online. And it's fully white labeled as that university, and it's only available for that university. And if the company wants to scale, they have to go to another university, build the same program, get everything set up again. And you don't benefit from the economies of scale as much as you could, because there's a limit to how many people you can get from each university. What we look at in the program delivery segment are programs that could appeal to more than one university. So the program gets built once, and there may be a sponsor university who's got their name on it or who helps set it up. But then the program is opened up to multiple universities to participate in, and all of the universities who participate get the benefits of that network. So this is quite a new model, but it means that we can actually scale these programs to a much larger number of students than previously possible. And we recently launched a new program in this segment called CS 101, Computer Science 101. Next slide. Now, from the UNSW Transition Program Online, we've seen very strong momentum. Now, just as a refresher, if you haven't heard from us before, the transition program is a pathway program into university designed in collaboration with UNSW. And it was previously a face-to-face program for about 15 years. And for last year, we worked with them to move the program online. It's a 4-month intensive program designed for people who just missed out on getting into the university. So maybe their English mark was a bit too low, or maybe they need a bit of a refresher. So this program has now launched. Students pay about $16,000 to take the program. And while it started with UNSW, the program is now being accepted by 5 more universities around the world, including universities from the UK and New Zealand, which we've just announced. And we believe that there's a very large market for this program. We had 1 intake already, and there's 3 more intakes this half. Next slide. A new program that we've just launched that's under development is Computer Science 101. And this program brings together tech industry experts, leading technology companies, and tertiary education providers to produce a 3-course micro-credential that's designed for upskilling in computer science. So helping people move into programming, software development, technology fields. And there's a huge gap in the market at the moment for this, and there's a skills shortage nationwide that we're looking to address. Next slide. So what we've done over the past half year is we've really invested in the platform, products, and sales to accelerate our revenue growth. Now, obviously, this has come at a cost, and we have had losses over the past half year. But as you can see, we've actually invested in 4 different areas simultaneously, and all of these areas are now starting to generate revenue. So we're quite confident going forward that these investments that we're making are going to generate even more revenue going forward, and our growth will continue to accelerate. But these have required some substantial investment so far, but we're pleased that in particular, the transition program has already been generating a return on that investment. Next slide. So that's really all from me. We've got the key components of the company's growth strategy in place. We've got a range of products out there. We're focused on growing our market share in a large and growing market. We've been able to grow our platform revenue by 120% year on year. And we've got new agreements in place with some very large clients that are helping to support our growth. We've got a good amount of cash on hand, given our growth strategy. And we're seeing continued traction, both in the platform subscription business and also the program delivery side as well. So thank you very much for your time this afternoon. And over to you, Tim.
Right, thanks, Adam. A couple of questions here. What's the kind of expected impact on the business as countries open up post-COVID and there's more face-to-face learning?
Yeah, so we're expecting a positive impact, which might sound a bit funny, but the reality is over the past 18 months, our core customers, which are the university sector, have lost between $5 and $10 billion. And that means they've actually had to reduce their spending in a lot of areas. They haven't been able to invest in bringing new programs to market, invest in new platform and technology. So we think that as the borders reopen and as international students return, there'll be a benefit to the sector as a whole. And then the investment appetite from these institutions will accelerate as well. On top of that, the UNSW transition program online that we're running, we see that becoming a global pathway into university. And that is a program that will significantly benefit when the borders reopen, because people actually want to study their undergraduate face-to-face, but the pathway program is a means to an end. The aim is to have a program that gets you into university at a reasonable cost and at a high level of quality, and that's what our program does. So we're quite excited about the borders reopening soon.
And can you give us a little bit more color on the expansion of the OpenCreds program?
Yeah, definitely. So we launched OpenCreds last year, and OpenCreds is Australia's first framework for lifelong learning micro-credentialing. And it's designed to work with both universities, higher education providers, vocational industry. Now, we have a couple of programs that we've been running under that, our OpenCreds Investment Fund and our partnership with Open Universities Australia. We now are pleased to say that we have almost 40 courses under the OpenCreds framework that have now come to market and are being sold through the platform. This includes courses from Deakin University, another university that's now launching courses as well, and about 10 private higher education providers that now have courses in the market. So we're seeing continued traction from OpenCreds. We think that it will take some time for the revenue specifically from the OpenCreds segment to build, but that has added significant value to the ecosystem itself. And the CS 101 courses are actually OpenCreds as well. So we see that gaining traction too.
And just finally, your share price has been under pressure for a little while now. What do you see what don't investors get here? I mean, you're in a very large market. We know you've got to fund growth, but you've got a fairly decent cash position here. What are investors missing?
Yeah, I think investors will probably need to take a look at, I guess, the size of the market, but also how we're tackling that market in terms of growing our revenue. And I think early on, maybe it was hard for some investors to see how it would actually drive revenue growth in the market. And I think late last year, maybe some people were thinking that, online education should benefit from COVID. And, once COVID goes away, hopefully at some point, online education will die down a little bit. I think the opposite's actually happened. I think there's a lot of excitement around online education last year, but really things take time in the education sector. And last year we put in place a lot of the agreements with partners that will drive revenue growth in the years to come. And that's exactly what we're doing. We signed agreements last year with UNSW for the transition program. That's now in the market. It's generated revenue in excess of our investment. We launched open creds, those are in the market now. So we've got a track record of doing this, but I think maybe investors need to take a fresh look at the sector and try and differentiate the companies that have a pure technology play in them versus those that maybe don't, and then see, whether we're actually, fairly valued or not. I'd also probably point people to the research that's come out from Canaccord and MST Access, which have, some really good analysis on the company's growth prospects.